Coming up on this episode of the 100K podcast, we review last week's multi. We introduced some new segments. So we got Gold Rush, the best bets of last week that we wish we were on, that we weren't. We got Jevy's Pyramid, the new Handshake bets for this week, the Can't Lose segment, and of course, this week's 100K multi. Enjoy. All right, welcome back to the show that's just put the band back together. Welcome back to the show that's convinced the Swans are playing in a prelim. Welcome back to all the degenerates and all the professional punters. Welcome back to Earth, all Collingwood and Brisbane supporters. Welcome back to the 10 teams that didn't play last week. And welcome back to the show that's on a mission from God. Welcome back to the 100K podcast, where each week we put our big brains together, put $10 on a 25-leg multi in the hopes to finally hit the Holy Grail and win $100,000. Boys, welcome back. And before we get on to anything else, also, if you've made it this far, a bit of housekeeping. Apple and Spotify, please rate us, and YouTube, please like, subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend. Helps us immensely and what we want to do going forward. Jev, how are you, my good man?
Das, great intro. I am great. So there was this guy, and his IQ was 150, and he was just too smart for everyone else. He couldn't be in normal conversations because he was just too smart and was starting to annoy him. So he went to go see this specialist doctor who can lower your IQ.
Yes.
So he says to the specialist doctor, just so I can be in conversation with other people, can you lower my IQ down to like 90 or 100 so I can fit in? I'm sick of being this smart. So the doctor makes him sign a waiver. Are you sure? This is irreversible. So they put the patches on. He signs a waiver. They put the patches on. They put the helmet on. They strap him in the chair. All right, here we go. So they click the machine on. It says 150. It starts going down. 140, 130, 120, 110, 100. The doctor goes to turn the machine off, and it doesn't turn off. 90, 80, 70, 60. They're like, oh, fuck. 40, 30, 20, 10. And then the machine conks out. And they're like, oh, no. Oh, no. Say something. Say something. Say something. Can the Bombers?
That is good, Jen.
We're going to hell.
That is extremely sharp. Morgs, dress up. You look like a very
fresh from the gabber. I am, Darth.
Yes.
This is very funny. I hope this. If you're watching or you're listening to the podcast, get onto YouTube because you're missing out on some hilarious stuff. It's a pleasure to be here, Darth. I just wanted to. We didn't have this in the run sheet, but it just came to my mind. I was very excited today. We announced SuperCoach is back. So all you got to do is DM our 100K Sports Instagram account, SC for SuperCoach, $100 entry, weekly prizes, and a total points cash prize at the end of the year. I'm up and about, Das. Footy's back, round one.
It's a full slate, and I'm so ready for so many other players to explode. And I feel I know how they feel, boys. I went camping on the weekend, went down to lovely Phillip Island, went there on a Saturday, had a coffee, and I was ready to paint the toilet. I was really ready. I was ready to explode. And for some reason, I thought I'll just wait for tomorrow. Had a few beers, some bourbon, some bread, and I was clogged up. And I just didn't have to go yet. Sunday morning I awakened and I was ready to explode, and I'm sure I felt like all other AFL footballers that didn't get a chance to play. I was ready to explode. After a big brekkie, then down to the North Pier pub for a Palmer, a few more beers, and back to the campsite for some pizzas. I felt like I was ready to go. But as I awaken on Monday, I know it's game day. I'm ready to finally paint the toilet bowl, and this is what every single other AFL player cannot wait for, to finally come out and explode. And when I went home, it was finally time. Who do you think for this week's Hot Chips is ready to explode this week, Jev? Who are you ready for?
Chad Warner.
Well done.
On Friday night.
Jack Ginnivan for me.
Has to be the Bond,
Yep.
doesn't he? The Bond.
This
Has to be Brownlow season. We are ready for him to finally explode and paint the toilet bowl. Boys, it's good to be back. So last week's multi.
I'm up and about.
Good legs, bad legs. So we went 18 out of 25 legs. Just not good enough. Jev, good legs. Let's go through it.
Good legs first?
Yeah, good legs first.
So I had lots of good legs. I had Papley for 15, Braden Campbell for 15, Charlie Cameron for 2, Noah Anderson for 25, which was extremely lucky, Ben King for 2, Cogs for 25, Nick Dacos for 25, and Tom Green for 30. I went 8 from 9 on my 20 to 1 multi.
Wow.
I was one stiff leg off, which I'll get to. Lou, how was your good legs?
Yeah, I definitely cost us. 18 from 25 is a fucking great effort from the lads considering the week that I had. But my good legs, Lockie Ash, the boy from Katundra, we were always pretty confident in that league. Joshy Dacos, the human wing, this man, had 28. We just had him for 20, but unbelievable. That's just a great bet going forward. And Bobby Hill, the human firework, we only had him for one. He kicked 2, and I wrote down he paid $3.05 for 2 last week. That is one of the best bets all year.
Yeah, for sure. He looks so dangerous.
That's good. Yeah, I got 8 out of 9 as well, Jeff. So I had Petrarca for 25 and a snag, Kerno for 2, Chera for 20, Cripps for 20, Took for 25, Josh Kelly for 25, and Dego for 20.
Oh, God, that's
well
a good
done.
one.
We had some good legs.
Yeah,
What were your bad ones?
So I only had Tom Papley for 2 as my only missing leg. Stabmate warned me on this one, and I went against it. He kicked 1 goal, 1. He's definitely not playing as much as that deep forward pocket anymore.
Way more midfield, wasn't
way
he?
more up the ground, way more of a half forward, get him around the ball. So I'm going to stay away from that leg. So Tom Papley only kicked 1. That was my only bad leg. Lou, what were yours?
Yeah, I had a few, but I had some messages during the week as well of people that could relate. So I had Jake Lloyd for 20. That just didn't hit. It was just one of those games. Human luggage, I had him for 20. He had a down game. He got some flack in the media, so that's fair enough. Ainsworth, we had 15 and 1. He kicked 1 behind. Should have kicked that and had 13. So you'd have to say that's stiff.
Legs.
And then I had Stephen Caniglio anytime, which I don't even remember having, but that's not a great bet personally. But the rest of them are just stiff.
That's 5 losing legs.
Yeah, I went 3 from 8.
That's a rough one.
Yeah, it started the
It's
season.
not great.
Real
It's not
footy
great.
starts this week when we got a
Correct.
full slate of
Correct.
games. And my only one that I got wrong, Toby Green for 3. Look, he may as well, he just gave it over to everyone else. Yeah, had Brown kick 5, Hogan kick 4, our man Binger Daniels kick 4. He kicked a great goal from the pocket, but he thought, I can just sit back this week. Who are we to know? He had a great preseason, thought he was going to
Correct.
light it up, but unfortunately didn't get
Before
there.
I just wanted to quickly say that the reason we do good legs, bad legs, Darcy, is because we are recording every single leg that goes into the 100K multi. At the end of the year, we will work out a percentage based. The loser will have to do a punishment. We still don't know what that is yet, but as we said, was it 2 years ago that you lost the NFL season, I think it was?
Yes.
You had to spend 24 hours at Macca's. So it's going to be something like that, but every single bet is accounted for to keep us accountable.
Yeah, as it should be. So handshake bet recap. So on Thursday night, me and Morgs got a big box of Wheat Bix. I had to eat a Wheat Bix every time Clayton Oliver had a possession. Morgs had to eat a Wheat Bix every time Errol Goulden had a possession. Errol Goulden had 20 touches. Morgs had 20 Wheat Bix and a large pizza with absolute ease. He just, every time Errol had a touch, he celebrated. He's like, more Wheat Bix. He did it so easy. Whereas Clary had 29. I could only get down 23 Wheat Bix and I was close to throwing up. I was
dry reaching.
I was dry reaching. What cost me, I was watching the game too intently. It got to half time. I thought, how many possessions did Clary have that half? And he had 9 that quarter. And I had to have 9 in a bowl at half time.
do
And
anyone.
it got me. It was a lot of Wheat Bix in a bowl. So that's an X for me. So
This wall could come down at any time, so let's just...
I'm got an X. This X in my handshake bet is going to... when we do our punishment,
sure
it's
what
going
it
to come down. We'll find out. But Morg's got a tick. I got an X, and we'll talk about this week's when we get to that game.
All right, let's have a quick look now. Obviously, we don't put Thursday and Friday night games in our multi just to give people enough time just to get on. So it's only weekends, so Saturday, Sunday, and potentially Monday if they have it. So let's have a quick look and a preview of the games. Carlton, Richmond, Jev. Anything that you're liking?
Yeah, I really like Tom Lynch for 2 at $1.69. I know we never see this bloke play, but when he does, he fucking kicks snags. He's kicked 2, 8 of his last 9. He's kicked 3, 3, 2 in his last 3 against the Blues. And we're getting $1.69, which is absolutely
That's great
golden.
value.
I also love Dustin Martin for 1 at $1.42. I'll tell you who will tell you this is a good leg. Richmond fans and Carlton fans. He kicked the first of the whole AFL season last year. He's kicked a goal in his last 4 against the Blues. And a goal 4 of his last 5 against all opponents. The champs kick 1 at $1.42. So Lynch for 2 at $1.69. Dusty for 2 at $1.42. They are good legs. You got some legs there?
Yeah, you know what else Dusty does? He fends someone back into the 2s. He does it every single year. But there's 3 legs. I just think the Blues head-to-head has to be, we have to win, especially after last week. That's $1.38. I like Charlie for 4. I don't think that, or on paper against Richmond, his form isn't the best there, but it's $2.65. He only had the 6 targets last week. I think coming back to the G, he's going to get a lot of it, and I still think he's going to win the Coleman, so he's going to try and beat up on these lesser sides. And then Cripps for 25, which is at $1.67. Cripps hasn't gone under that in his last 7 times against the Tigers, averaging 31 disposals. You remember 2 years ago in round 1, he had 33 and 3 goals. So he absolutely loves the Tigers. If you put those 3 together as well, that pays $4.20, but they're the 3 that stand out to me.
Yeah, so that multi we just said. So Charlie Curnow for 4. Yeah, 4 sounds like a lot. Ben King kicked 5 with ease last week. They are in trouble in their backline, Richmond. So Charlie Curnow for 4, Tom Lynch for 2, Pat Cripps for 25, and Dusty anytime. We're getting $9.25
Yeah,
for
good.
that multi. That is a good multi to start. So that's we're going to call it the weekend top up or something.
Yeah, the weekend top
I
up.
don't mind
Get us
that.
ready for the
I like
100K.
it.
The weekend launch pad.
The weekend launch pad, something like that.
Get two
Just
cracks at it too.
Don't,
I love it.
only $5 on it or something. Just get your account topped up for your weekend.
And
Love it.
Pie Swans, you'll be there
I'll be there
with your old man.
with my old man. in
Hawaiian
our Swan
shirt.
We'll be in the Swan shirt. I think we're going to need air masks. We're sitting that high up level 3, but that doesn't matter. I'm still going to be there. Can't wait to be there. I love Chad Warner for 25 at $1.74, Das. Had 26 last week against the Ds and looked back to his best. He had 28 last year against the Pies on the G. Gobble up this $1.74. Like, it is good value.
that's
He
so
looked back
good.
to his best. And I love Hayden McLean to kick 2 at $3.50. $3.50 is going for a bloke that he's kicked 3 of his last 5. He kicked 2 against the Ds last week and missed an absolute sitter.
Soda. Yeah.
He kicked 1-1 on the G last year against the Pies and missed another absolute sitter. And I like his role for the Swans now. He's a big lumping lad out
he's a
of the
lump.
goal square, and he's chopping out Brodie Grundy in the ruck. I reckon he'll be a little tall for the Pies back line. I really like him for 2 at $3.50. Warner 25, McLean for 2 on my 2 legs. Das, what about you?
2 standouts, Bobby Hill. He's $1.33 at Morgs. I think you mentioned before. What was he? $3.50
305, I reckon he was for 2.
for
Yeah,
2
unbelievable
last
value.
week, which is
come
unbelievable.
in.
So just for 1 goal, it's $1.33, and you feel after last week's loss, all Pistons will be firing in the middle. Jordan DeGoey only had the 21 touches last week. Still got him for 20 here, which is same thing around $1.33. I just think he steps up. Same thing. He was around that for the grand final, but then obviously we know in the prelim he was high 30s. So I just think Jordan DeGoey steps up this week in a big way. So him for 20 and Bobby Hill for a single.
Yeah, so that multi, Hill for single, Jordan to go for 20, McLean for 2, Chad Warner for 25. That pays $8.50.
Another top up.
So another top up. And if you put those 2 multis together, so the 4 Carlton Richmond legs and the 4 Swans Collingwood legs, you get 80 to 1.
Jesus.
80 to
For
1.
how many legs?
8 legs,
to 4 and
80
4.
to 1. We're very confident in all 4 legs. So yeah,
Don't worry about a top up. Just have 1,000 on that and don't work the next week.
1,080 to 1.
No worries at all.
That's 80K.
That is massive.
Don't work the next
You should take
year.
the week off for sure.
All right, boys, let's get into a segment that a lot of people may not be familiar with, but the OGs will know this. And this
Absolutely.
is huge. People have been asking for it. Obviously, we've only just had the opening round, but we have to bring back Jevy's Pyramid. So,
The most controversial segment in sports.
It's going to come up on the screen, yes, Lou, as I speak through this.
Correct.
So let's start from the bottom row. So the bottom row, I've got Sam Taylor, Giants defender, Jordan Dawson, Pat Cripps, Noah Anderson, Darcy Moore, Jack Sinclair. You might say Pat Cripps is a little low, and I can understand that, but I think rather than being a dominant player, he's more of he just cares about winning.
Yep.
And he does whatever it takes to win, and I like that about him, but it's not about the 30 anymore. It's about 23, a goal, and a W for the Blues. So, yeah, he's taking a hit in the pyramid, but they play in prelims now, the Blues.
he's still in the pyramid.
He's still in the pyramid. Next row
Can
up.
I, just before you do, Jeff, can you quickly explain? So it's tiers, just for the people that would have no idea what this is
Yeah, so it's the 21 best players in the league
right now.
right now. There's one sits at the top. The best player in the league sits at the top. Then there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, sort of like a pyramid. We're working from the
Perfect.
base up.
I love
You'll
it.
see it on the screen. You can work from the top down however you want.
It's huge.
But the next row, I got Jordan DeGoey, Jeremy Cameron, Connor Rosie, Tom Stewart, Clayton Oliver. I'm rewarding Clayton Oliver. He was number 1 on my pyramid at preseason last year. I'm just getting him to the 5th row. He had 30 last week. He looked close back to his best. He missed too much footy last year to be any higher. Tom Stewart, 5 All-Australians in a row.
Yeah, he has to be in there.
How fucking good is he? Connor Rosie, great year. Jeremy Cameron, how good is he? Jordan DeGoey just had an out-of-this-world final series. He's a top 21 player in this league. Next row. Now we're starting to get to the cream
Here
of
we
the
go.
This is the
crop.
crux of it.
Sam Walsh,
Yep.
Zach Butters,
Yep.
Errol Goulden,
Yep.
Lockie Neal. Lockie Neal, last year's Brownlow medalist. Sam Walsh, last year's
Gary Ayres medalist.
Gary Ayres medalist. I know he's injured at the moment. I'm not going to put that on him because when we see him play this year, he is just a freak. Zach Butters, Errol Goulden basically introduced themselves as top 10 players in the comp last year. I don't think anyone can deny that. Next row, now we're getting to the real
is
cream.
good.
Charlie Curnow, Christian Petrarca, Tom Green, my Brownlow medal pick, Tom Green.
It's a
So
good
this is
three.
where playing last week can get you up
Yep.
or down. So Max Gawn isn't in my pyramid when he always was because he didn't have that good of a game. Where Tom Green went up from where I had him last week. 30-1. He showed why he's going to be a Brownlow medal favourite. Charlie Curnow's won the last 2 Commons, and Chris Petrarca's just Chris Petrarca's
He's a gun.
champion. Next row, we're up to the final
Oh,
3.
yeah, stop it.
Final 3, the second row. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with this. Toby Green, Marcus Bontempelli.
Well done.
Oh, stop
Toby
it.
Green, Marcus. Everyone knows Toby Green's. Some people just call him the best AFL player in the league. All-Australian captain. He's so good to watch. He didn't have that good of a game against Collins because Brady Maynard borderline tagged him, and then Connor Brown 8, Jesse Hogan 8, Binga Daniels 8, and he just watched him. And Marcus Bontempelli is so due to have a Brownlow season. And the cream of the crop, to be the champ,
Top
you got to
spot.
beat the champ. Nick Dacos probably should have won the Brownlow last year, but he was wearing the premiership medal at the end of the year.
Yep.
His season was out of this world. He's fucking 20 years old. He had 34-1 in a bit of a quiet one last week against the Giants. If 34-1 is a quiet one
10
for Dacos,
clearances.
10 clearances. He's the top of my pyramid. Because he wore the medal at the end, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. Yeah, he'll come up and down, but if you won the premiership last year, best player on the best side, I think you deserve to be top of the pyramid. So that is the first
It's
pyramid.
honestly perfect.
It is perfect as usual, Jeff. That's it.
Thank you.
I just think when you watch Nick Dacos, from what I watched last week, he just looks faster, twitchier than everyone else.
More skillful.
He just moves so. Some of those kicks, like it's just, he's a freak.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that on Instagram and I'm going to bring some feedback next week.
Yeah, good.
Because it'll be every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks,
live
I'll
on
go
the
live
show,
on the
so
show,
we can
new
review
period.
the questions and the comments next week.
Beautiful.
Well done, Jeff.
All right,
Perfect
boys,
as usual.
We are into it. So now it's time for the 100K multi. So this is where, as we mentioned at the start, we put our big brains together. About 25 legs. We put $10 on it to try and win $100,000. So this is only weekend games. So we're going to start Bombers and Hawks at the MCG. They're expecting 80,000 plus, boys. We will be there. Jev, starting off, what's the first leg?
Make it 80,003 because we will be there. It's very exciting, but I have no legs in the 100K. I couldn't find a leg I absolutely adored. I don't want to start with an X, so no legs for me. I know a couple of blokes on the pod have some rippers, so no legs for me. Luke.
No, it's mature of you, Jeff. Do you have a leg, Das?
I do. So the first leg of the 100K, we want to debut him for the very first time, being legal to come into the 100K. My man, the Wiz Nick Watson.
Oh, welcome.
So, hey, welcome.
son.
So to open the account as an AFL player, he's doing it for all the sub 170 centimetre athletes out there. 1 goal is all we need from the Wiz. So it's $1.56. I'm getting, and I already have, a Nick Watson jersey, 34 pressed. It's ready to go. Just got a call to say I can pick it up tonight or tomorrow. I'll probably pick it up tomorrow. So I will be there in just the jersey. Just the jersey, pipes out. I might have to do some curls or something. So
Awesome.
this thing's skin tight. So I want it the same size as Nick Watson. So I got a 34 coming at you. And I know none of you guys have another leg. No?
Well, I've got an idea.
Yeah, go. Sorry.
You got
yeah,
a
you
leg?
Yeah, no, I got another one.
Give us your leg and I'll give you my
all right,
idea.
so this guy's been in our 100K leadership group with Cogs
Yeah.
for the last 2 years. So
100%.
if I had to give you a leg of my life for this round, it is James Sicily for 20 touches at $1.27. I don't know how this isn't $1.11. This is standard Sicily value. Thanks to StatMate, we actually can go back and have a look at the form. In his career against the Bombers, he hasn't gone under 20 touches. He's 100% over his last 5 games, and you can check over his last 10 games, 20 games, even 40 games. Sicily has hit 20 disposals, 37 out of his last 40 games,
the stat.
which is at 93% over his last 40 games.
That's a lot of-
Averaging
That's it.
24.95 disposals. He's an absolute lock. This is my lock of the week. James Sicily for 20 touches. He's the captain, and you just watch him go to work, kick out, short kicks. He just loves the ball in his hands. So they're my 2 legs. We're going the Wiz, and we're going Sicily.
That's a great
Love
start.
it, G.
Cannot wait. If you want to get a photo with Das in the skin tie, outside gate 1, about 12:30, I reckon. Gate 1.
Perfect.
So we just love green ticks to get us going. 110 Saturday game, and if we've got Sicily for 20 and the Wiz for 1, we are going on to the next game because they are 2 green ticks.
Could not agree more. So this is my idea. So I had to think about it. Now, Das, you missed out on last week's handshake.
Yes.
Jevy and me. This is the game. This is 100% the game. This
We're gonna be there.
we
Let's
have
go.
to do a handshake. So this is my proposal between you two. So Jev, you've been sort of hot on the Hawks. They drafted a small forward in the top 10.
I don't rate taking a small forward, pick 5. I think his nickname should be the Fizz Watson. to be honest.
We'll have a look. That's good.
The
Das,
Wiz or the Fizz?
you've been hot in the season previews, so you've said about the Hawks have a much better list than the Bombers. You compared all their midfielders, their forwards, their backs. So this is perfect. So I go you two. 2 weeks ago, AFL promo, I said this is the year of deleting pies.
Yes,
so
it
that
is.
is what we need to do. So Das, you have every tall forward in the Bombers.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yep.
So every time a Bomber's tall kicks a goal, Das eats a pie. So
Correct.
who are we talking? We're talking Kyle Langford,
2 meter Peter.
2 meter Peter, and Wiedemann if he plays, or Harry Jones if he plays.
Yeah, we'll pick Harry
one of
Jones if he
those.
plays.
So ideally, Jeff, for us, we will sort of want 5 for 2 meter Peter, 3 for Langford.
I'd love to see a 10 collective.
A 10 piece of pies would be huge. Jev, on the other hand, it's the only option. It's the small forwards for the Hawks.
Oh, who are they?
So it's Ginnivan,
Wiz,
the Fizz,
and Bruce.
So 3 versus 3. For every goal they kick, you're eating a pie, you're deleting it. Handshake.
Done.
Remember, they're not versing each other. They are versing themselves.
We're
versing the game.
Every X, you pay your debts at the end of the year, and every X will not be fun, and we don't know what that is going to be yet, but that's the handshake bet for
So
them.
I've got Bombers talls and you've got Hawks smalls.
Correct in one
So
day.
Bruce, Ginnivan, Wiz. Oh, that screams 10 goals as well. I could have eaten 10 pies, 10 beers. Let's go.
They're good.
10 times 4 and 20, like 40 and 200.
That's $500. All right, boys. Next game, so off to a flyer. Giants and North Melbourne. Jev, talk to me.
Brent Daniels, 2 goals at $1.94.
David King.
Did you watch this man play on the weekend? 4 goals, 22 touches. He tortured the Pies backline.
Yep, stop it.
Yeah, sorry.
4 goals, 22 touches. He absolutely tortured the Pies backline.
You are.
And I have a feeling he's going to do the same thing to the young North backline. If they're playing Lukey McDonald on Toby Green, he's probably going to get matched up on the first goal with Kobe McKercher.
Yep.
And as good as McKercher is offensively, he's going to get tortured defensively by Binger. He's going to be Binger will torture him this weekend. He's so dangerous, so smart, getting around the feet, stoppages, everything. I'm getting $1.94 for
kidding?
2. $1.94 for a man that just kicked 4 goals, 2 and had 22. I'm getting $1.94
Against the reigning
for 2.
premiers.
Against the reigning premiers. Now they're playing North, who could have the worst defense in the league. I think this is money for Jam. Brent Daniels at 2.
So
I'm
do I
so
now.
confident in this leg. Lou.
I've ticked it. So 3 from 8 last week. It's fair to say. It's disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing.
Need to be better than that. So what I just wanted to do, I just wanted to back players that are hard workers, consistently at the
Yes.
contest. Get to contests.
Yes.
I had to go Josh Kelly.
Nice.
The man is fit as a fiddle. I've got him 25 plus, $1.45 I'm getting. He had 32 last weekend. Last 2 games against North last year, he had 66 disposals over the 2 games. So
beautiful.
$1.45, stick to the stats, take the emotion out of it, Das. Good players.
I like it. I've gone with good plays. Didn't get there last week, but Toby Green for 2 goals at $1.30. As we said, they're versing one of the worst defenses in the AFL. He's kicked 5 goals in his last 2 games against North. Only the one, as I did mention, but he was happy to see a few others kick goals, but give the King his crown again this week. Watch him open the account. I think he's going to kick multiples probably in the first quarter, and it's going to be an absolute smashing in this game. I think the Giants run all over them. So I've got Toby Green for 2, which I can't believe is $1.30 against
great
North
value.
Melbourne. Like, if you're hot or you're due, I know it's
kick
only
7.
been a small, you haven't been hot, but he's coming.
He could
He's
kick
coming. Jev?
Yeah, Tom Green, 25 at $1.13. The motherfucking Brownlow medalist. Just give me 25 at $1.13. So let's keep it going. So what do we reckon? How many Brownlow votes? I want to put it on the board. I'm going to give him 1.5 Brownlow votes for last week.
Okay.
1.5.
Yep.
Because he could get 3 for his 30 and 1, but he could get as low as 1 because of how good Binger was,
So at least 1.5.
how good Dacos was. So I'm going to give him 1.5. So let's add 1.5.
Beautiful.
This board doesn't fall in the head.
Now, this is hanging on by nothing, this board. 1 point. Beautiful. That looks good, Jev. That looks good.
So if this was a Sunday leg, I'd be taking him for 30.
Yeah, great.
He's had 37 of his last 8 and 25 8 in a row. He's had 25 touches, 19 of his last 20 games. That is fucking consistent. He had 17 touches, round 17 against the Hawks last year. And apart from that, from round 4 onwards, he's had over 25 every single game.
Yeah,
Tom
awesome.
Green. He is a stud. 25. Who's playing on him for North? He's too big. He's too strong. He's too confident. He's got a swag about him. Tom Green, 25. I'd have this on my life, Das.
I hope he kicks a goal. Have you heard his goal?
Yeah,
the Samba. Oh my
It
god.
happened on the weekend and
It'd
they
be
were loving it.
yeah, so good.
Morgs, you going to the league?
No legs.
All right, so I've got 2 here. I'll quickly run through. So Lockie Whitfield for 25 plus touches at $1.35. He looks so fit at the moment. And the Shark, he's one of the Sharks' favourite, has been for a long time. The former number 1 pick hasn't gone under 25 disposals in his last 5 games, averaging 31, had 33. I had 33 on the weekend. Was also listening to Sports Day, and they were chatting to a couple of the Giants players, and they were saying how fit they are and how much work they've done over the offseason. And I can just see this Giants midfield wanting to, because obviously we know how young North Melbourne is. It's their first real hit out. It's going to be a welcome to the AFL. They're going to body him, and I reckon they're all going to want to lick of the ice cream, and they're going to absolutely run rampant over him. But saying that, we have another debutant.
Of course.
We've got another
Let's
one.
go.
So he's my pick for the Rising Star. Welcome, Colby McKercher.
Well done. Note these.
All right, so for 20 disposals, $2.65. Yes, you heard that correctly. So the pick 2 from last year's draft. So he averaged 32.8 disposals across his 4 ally matches and the national championship, and he had over 30 disposals in 7 of his 9 games playing for Tassie, while also kicking 12 goals. He's a super freak, a great left foot, and I can see him getting his career off to a fly. Like, I don't think they're going to play much defense, this team. They're just going to try and get their ball in their hands and try and have a bit of fun with it. So I've got him for 20 touches at $2.65, Jev.
On a side note, boys, you can get Colby McKercher on Sportsbet for 25 touches at $8.25.
$8.
This is absolutely golden. David King has already tweeted he's the best kick he's ever seen at North Melbourne.
Shit.
And he hasn't played a game yet. And how much of a weapon his legs and his leg and his foot skills are. They're going to use him off the half-back line. The ball will be down there a lot, and he'll be taking kickouts. GWS will be scoring. He'll be getting the ball off the half-back. Harry Sheasel had 37 on debut last year.
Yes, he did.
Remember 37? Now Sheasel goes to midfield. Colby McKercher goes to that half-back spot, and the ball goes through him every single time when they're playing North Ball. I'm telling you, just have a 10 or a 15 on McKercher by himself for 25 touches at $8.25. You won't regret it. I can't find him for 30 or 35.
No, he's not there yet.
But $8.25 for 25 touches. Yeah. Get on it now. No multis or anything. Just take the $8.25 and cash this ticket.
You could honestly print that out, laminate it when that cashes, and just put that on the
Put
board,
on the board?
He'll never get anywhere near that.
No.
He could be $1.20 in a couple of years.
Yeah, the last time ever we will get anything over
blowing my
$3 for 25.
$8.25, Jev. That is an absolute money mine. Yeah, so am I.
that is golden.
I think
that's the
hat.
sort of leg you will speak about next week.
If they were playing 440 Sunday Arvo, would we build the whole 100k multi around McKercher for 25?
I reckon.
Just have 100 on it. Or whatever we'd net, 1,000.
Yeah, it'd be a lot.
Oh, fuck. No, that's gold. That's the sort of leg that you would speak about next week in sort of a gold rush sort of format.
Time for the best segment in sports, Gold Rush.
So that we need a heap of work.
Thought you were going to prompt.
No, I was. That's okay. Hey, the most valuable segment in sports. These are the bets that we weren't on, but we wish we were. We did it in the NFL season, but no one saw that, so it means it's a fresh segment, which I like.
Beautiful.
Right, I'll kick you off. 15 disposals. Jamie Elliott had 16. He paid $4.50. Calamar Cheese, 16. He paid $3.10. Judd McVee, never heard of him. Have you know him, Dale?
Yes.
Yeah,
he absolutely shirked it
he
against
had
the Blues.
20 disposals at $2.95, so that's great value. Going on to 25 plus. Lipinski, I'm not a big fan of Lipinski. He had 26 at $10. Isaac Heaney, your man Jeb, he had $5.90, 26. Nick Blakey had 26, he was $4.50. Salem, $4 for 27, that's a good bet. And our big man, the stock mover Dust, we'll speak about later. Matty Rao with his 33, you get $3.60 for the 25. Moving on to the 30 plus. So again, Matty Rao, $11 you can get for Matty Rao. Imagine that was in the 100k.
Heaps.
Jackie Viney got $33.15. That's too good a value for Jack
Yeah, it's
Viney.
pretty good.
They'll need to fix that, I think. Whitfield, 33. He had for 30 plus, he was $3.15. Josh Kelly for 30 plus, $2.63 at 32. And it's going to be in the multi this week. Moving on to goal scorers, Dust. Braden Maynard, $4 for any time.
Wow.
Ollie Florent, $4 for any time. Jack Viney, $1, $3.70. Tom Green, $3.50. And Tommy Mitchell, $3.50. All good bets. Moving on to 2 goals. Braden Fiorini, $18. $18 for $2. Big Darcy Cameron, $2. 2 goals, sorry, for $16.
16
Jack
to 1.
Viney, as I just said, $13. He kicked 2 snags in that game.
Wow.
Jacob Hopper, $13 on Sportsbet for 2 goals. $6.25 for Seth Campbell.
I've
Your
never
man.
heard of him.
Wait,
Your
who?
man. Seth Campbell in the Tigers game, kicked 2, and he paid $6.25. Never heard of him. To quickly finishing off, Brady Daniels, Binger Daniels, 4 goals, you get $26 on
Jeez, that would've been
Sportsbet.
nice.
And then to round us out, Gold Rush, the most valuable segment in sports. The bets we weren't on, but we wish we were, Dars. Ben King for 5, you got $12. Now you think that's good. Callum M. Brown, 5 goals at 51 to 1.
51 to 1, that would have been nice.
And it probably should have been in the 100k. They're the best bets we weren't on, but we wish we were. And we'll be back next week.
Well done.
Gold Rush.
Hey, so Gold Rush. So make sure you listen out.
Colby McKercher will be on there next week.
Oh, God, yes, he will be. All right, let's get into the next game. So Geelong and St Kilda down at the Cattery. Jev, who do you like?
Rowan Marshall, 20 disposals at $1.67. I just love the odds of $1.67 for a leg
same.
that's hit 4 games to finish the season. His last 4 games finished the season. 31 in that finals loss to the Giants he had. 31 disposals for Ruckman. 24, 24, and 23 the 3 weeks before that. And one of those 24 touch games was against the Cats in round 23 last year. Statmate are telling me this should be paying like $1.20. I'm getting $1.67. I
awesome.
love this leg for Rowan Marshall. So $1.67, Rowan Marshall 20 touches, Lou.
The big beacon, Das, Tom Stewart, as Das said, a pyramid player, $1.21 for 20 plus. I had a look at 25, but brought it back in. He's 4 of the last 5, the last month of the season last year. The only time he didn't have it in that was 18 touches. He's the engine room of that defense, and there's a bit of chatter around he might spend more time in the midfield.
Yes.
That I've spoken to a couple of sources. So as I said, 3 of the last 5, he actually had 25. So I had a look at it. I brought it back down to 20. I'm getting $1.21. It's just golden in 100K multi.
Better on good players.
That's correct.
They're both
Okay.
good. Do you have any more legs in this game?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, perfect. Go. I don't have one in this one.
Oh, Tom Hawkins, 2 goals at $1.51. This is where StatMate is just unbelievable, boys. Hawk for 2 goals, 4 of his last 5 to finish the season. Against St Kilda, 100% in his last 5 games. 100% in his last 9 games. He's 9 of 10, his last 10 games at GMHBA Stadium. The only time he hasn't kicked 2 against the Saints is round 17, 2019.
That's a long time ago.
GMHBA, the last 3 games last year, 2, 5, and 3. With all these stats, StatMate have implied this leg should be paying $1.25. I'm going to $1.51. It's the leg of my weekend. Tom Hawkins, 2 goals.
Nice.
Lock it
Well
in.
done,
Cheers.
James.
Do you have another one, Morgs?
Tom Hawkins. No,
Yeah,
thanks, no thanks, mate.
The Tomahawk. All right, boys, next game. So we're going to get into Gold Coast and Adelaide. Boys, before I get into this, Jev, I'm going to be debuting a new segment next week called The Stock Market. So we're going to have a look at who we're buying and who we're selling. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a teaser. So we screenshot all the markets before the start of the season. So let me tell you this. Before round 1, Matt Rowell was paying $67
For the Brownlow medal.
for the Brownlow medal. And people are buying that because he's currently into $17. An absolute market mover.
It's a dump.
67 to 17. If he can stay healthy, they know, remember his first 3 games ever. 3 Brownlow votes in each of them. He was up to 9 Brownlow votes. He's an absolute move. If he can play his position all year, you better believe people are going to be buying that. So we're going to have the best buyers, the best sellers, Rising Star, Brownlow medal, Coleman medal, and Premiership
I
odds.
can't wait
We've
for
got
the
it
stock
all.
market.
So that's going to be coming up next week. But Gold Coast, Adelaide, Jev, what leagues do you have?
I'm going back to the well with Ben King for 2 goals at $1.38. I'd like a little more than $1.38. StatMate is telling me you can get $1.50 on Ladbrokes. Okay. I'd like a little more, but he kicked 5 on the weekend. He's kicked over 2 in his last 3 games. He played Adelaide twice last year. Round 21, he kicked 2. Round 12, he kicked 3. And 4 against the Crows in 21 and 3 against them in 2020. They moved the ball with speed. He was hot on the weekend. They were getting in deep, dangerous positions. I'm backing him in. Ben King, 2 goals, $1.38. Let's go.
Come
Lou.
on. You said if you didn't kick 2, you'd spew, and
I'd spew
thankfully
up.
you didn't have to spew. Das, could we run sort of a tangerine rinse through Jev's facial hair and we get a bit of a Matty Rowell?
As long as he
There
keeps,
is something
as long as he
there.
keeps that, maybe we just get some tomato
Some
sauce and
wet
just
hair,
slick it back.
Some grass for breakfast, and you're anyone's. Das, I'm so excited. This time of the year, I get something about for debutants. I just love blooding the new kids into the multi. We've got 2 today already, Nicky Watson and Colby McKercher. Another one, Connor Butterick. Is that him?
You're like Brad Pitt in Moneyball.
Well, that's all right. This is
You
the
don't
money.
even know the
This is the
players.
Moneyball leg of the multi. He could dead set rock up on my porch in boots, and I would say, "Can I help you?" I just love the numbers here, Doug. Take the emotion out of it. So
who does he play for? The Suns,
the Suns,
or the Crows?
The Suns.
sure?
I only knew that because I'm betting on him. But do you know why I'm betting on it? It's 100% the last 5, 80% his last 10, 2 from 2 against the Crom last year, 100% the last 5 at the People's Elbow up north, and I'm getting $1.33 for the buttery crispy flake. I just can't say no to the butterick. $15.24.
Buttery
That's
crunch.
awesome. It's an awesome bet.
That is an awesome bet.
And another debutant, so congratulations.
Well done. All right, boys. I'll be taking Taylor Walker for 2 goals at $1.51. The Texan has not missed in his last 10 games. He's actually 18 out of his last 19, kicking multiple goals. We're in steady hands here, lads.
Oh, yeah.
The All-Australian from last year looks ready to go. The big Texan.
Big
May
find.
only have a
Career.
couple more. Hey, that's 18 out of his last 19. He's
That's
kicked
so
multiple
nice.
goals.
That's
2
awesome.
goals, $1.51.
$1.51.
$1.51. Jev?
Nah, that's it for me.
Clear.
I've got one more, boys.
Let's go.
So we did look at a lot of the 15 disposal markets.
We always
mentioned
do.
on the roast, and you mentioned just before, there's about 1 million of them. So I've had a look here. So Ben Keys for 15 touches at $1.42. Sometimes you used to get a lot of it, not do a lot with it. But down to 15 disposals, Jev, last week, as I did mention, these are some of the best markets to look at. So Ben Keys has hit 15 touches in each of his last 13 games. In that includes 3 29 disposal games and a 28 disposal game. I reckon he might have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder how sour last season ended up. Watching a couple of the preseason games, he seemed to be running in the midfield a little bit more. So he used to be a staple for 20, even 25 at one stage.
Yeah.
2 years ago in the multi. 15 touches, I can't believe it. So for 20 disposals, if you want him, it's $2.50. And for 25, it's $9.
Oh, you're going to
that's awesome.
So I'll be able to sprinkle in the personals, but just for 15, I think this is quite safe. $1.42, Ben
Oh,
Keys.
that's so nice.
I
Well done, mate.
absolutely love
Honestly,
that
well
leg.
done.
So nice.
All right, boys. So that gets rid of that game. So we've got a new segment here. I'm not really too sure how it works. This show is full of them. So it's called Can't Lose. So I'm just going to prompt Jev here. So we're just going to see how it works. So we've got three games. So Jev, Can't Lose is the segment. Carlton Richmond, talk us through it.
So Richmond just got absolutely pumped by Gold Coast week 1, and their old coach ran rings around them. Their game plan looked horrible, their kids looked horrible, and their skills looked horrible. If they start 0-2, is it fair to say their finals campaign is probably over? The Tigers can't lose.
They cannot lose.
They can't lose.
You're right. They can't lose.
But then the Blues, an injured Carlton just limped up to the Gabba and came back from 46 points down. They just lost their emotional leader, Sam Doherty, for the year, and they're waiting for their superstars to come back from injury. They're playing against a desperate team whose finals campaign is on the line. The Blues can't lose.
The Blues can't lose.
Playing with house money. Can't lose. Can't lose.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's a double. All right, so let's have a look at the next one. So Collingwood
couldn't
Sydney,
agree
the
more.
MCG, Friday night, Jeff.
The Swans just beat a top 4 side without 3 starting midfielders.
Oh, no.
They're coming to Melbourne to play the reigning premiers. They can't lose.
No, they can't
House
lose.
money.
But the Pies, whereas the Pies are back on their home deck, unveiling their premiership flag to 100,000 fans Friday night at the G. They just got absolutely touched up from the Giants and had the most points conceded under the Craig McKay era. They looked extremely ordinary. The Pies cannot lose.
No, they can't lose.
That's
this
a must
one.
win.
They
for them.
have to. Like, they can't lose.
They cannot lose.
We got Freo in Brisbane.
Everyone knows Freo's coach starts on the hottest of seats. He's the red hot favourite to be fired first. We all know Perth is 3 hours behind Melbourne, but it looked like Freo's game plan was 3 years behind the competition last year. If Freo trot out at home round 1 and dish up the same crap as last year in front of their home fans, it is trouble. Freo can't lose.
No, they
They
can't
cannot
lose.
lose this game.
And Brisbane, Jeff.
But the Lions, the Lions thing, the season is finishing at everyone thinks the Lions season is finishing at a minimum of prelim final weekend.
Yes.
They went 11-0 last year at the Gabba, and now they're 0-1 this year at the Gabba.
No.
They blew a 46-point lead. You can't start 0-2 if you have premiership aspirations. The Lions can't lose.
They can't.
They can't lose.
I love that. The last one is a double can't lose.
And that is this week's can't,
Can't
lose.
lose.
There's about 7 different types of can't lose. That's awesome, Jeff. That'll really
Two
get you
sides of the
thinking.
coin.
I
That's
love
good.
that.
Also, Freo will lose this by close to 80
awesome.
points. All right, next one, Jev. Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs. Who do you got?
We're back in the 100K.
Yeah,
This
we're
is
back in
can't
100K.
lose.
No,
Almost
another
back in
can't
100K.
You got a leg.
Clayton Oliver, 25 touches at $1.18. Ooh, he loves playing the Dogs old Clary. It was good to see him back to his best, having 30 against the Swans last week. Listen to his last 5 games against the Dogs, powered by StatMate. 33, 28, 32, 33, and 38. Was there a number below 25 in there?
They call him the veterinarian, how much he touches up dogs.
And the last 4 games, he's been fit and healthy. 30, 27, 31, 25. He's back. 25 touches at $1.18 is absolutely golden. Lewis.
I absolutely love that. Now, I've got a question for you. Is this man working his way into elite medium status? And he goes by the name of Alex Neil-Bullen.
Yes.
Is he close? He is so close to an elite medium.
He is.
So not elite, but elitely medium.
Yeah, he's there.
But he's so close. If he's not, he is 15 disposals. He is 100% on the last 5. He is 80% on the last 10. He had 15 his last 3 at the G. Sunday over Arvo. Big final. I had that written down.
Final.
$1.75, probably 50 cents too much, I reckon. This would probably pay about $1.25, $1.30, and I'm getting $1.44. So I don't know how you do those maths, but it's an awesome
The
league.
Nibbler loves it.
He loves the snag as well.
What do you say
If
about
you want to know how many touches he gets, look at the tracker, see how far he's run. He gets a touch for every kilometre.
So if he runs 17
so
Ks?
you know if he goes under, like the game he missed,
He hasn't run hard
he
enough.
hasn't run under.
I do
This
like
bloke.
I love it.
It's simple maths. Any more legs?
No legs for me.
All right, so we got one more game, two more games.
sorry,
to
I've
go
got one more.
Here we go.
Timmy English.
Oh, what?
Anytime. They call this man the translucent crayfish.
You
down
call
at-
this man the
at Footscray.
translucent
I have a
crayfish.
good source. Now, I spoke to Jev during the week.
Oh, so he's your source.
And he reckons the big translucient will spend more time up forward for the Dogs this
Oh,
year.
here we
And
go.
I think that's good.
With
because-
Jamara and Norton.
He'll be able to fly at the same footy as Jamara. They'll have that many corked hips. It's just Jack in the Pack is Beveridge's game plan. But this is fucked. You go to Statman, I'm getting a juicy $2 for Timmy English kick a goal. Obviously, it's a Sunday leg, so we like a bit of value on the Sunday. But the algo has it valued at $1.
$1.
What?
Stat mate
Not
reckons it should be.
$1.10, that's $1.01. So I'm that confident in this. $1 or $2.02. Just you need these sorts of legs to turn $10 into 100K on one weekend of footy, and that's just a perfect example.
That's fantastic.
Up the translation.
Hey, well done. All right, next game. We're getting into the final two. Port Adelaide and West Coast, Jev. Anything? Do you sniff anything in this one?
Yeah, give me the new skipper, Connor Rosie, for 25 touches at $1.36. Put his average final of 17 touches against GWS aside, this has been cash. 8 of the last 9, with the only missing leg, he had 24 touches. 29 last year against West Coast. 12 straight games at Adelaide Oval in the home and away season. He's had over 25 touches. He's a new captain. They're going to be fresh. They have prelim aspirations, Port Power. 25 touches.
I
Connor
love
Rosie.
it. I left this one alone, Das. I got a lunch on Sunday.
Yeah, perfect. All right, boys. I'm taking my Brownlow prediction. Zach Butters for 40 touches at $1.29. Oh, wait. He's $1.29 for 25 touches. You're kidding. I thought they had him for 40. My Brownlow prediction, it's well documented. I've got him, I've got Charlie, I've got them in multiple
Big
multis
final.
together. He hasn't gone under in his last 8. And always you see these guys fresh off a big preseason. I reckon they've just been watching the games on the weekend, just ready to get out there, nibbling on the bit. As I
Tame the
mentioned
bowl.
earlier, just ready to explode. 8 of his last 8, $1.29 for 25, Jeb. I think it's absolute money for Jam. And then we get into that last game, Fremantle and Brisbane. I reckon this is going to be an absolute shellacking, Jeb.
You reckon shellacking?
I reckon Brisbane win by 80 plus.
Wow, bad teams don't know they're bad to about round 5. Freo will think they're good.
Round
That
4.
big preseason.
They stink.
Give me Charlie Cameron, 2 goals at $1.58. I had this one as my best bets last week. I said he wakes up and kicks 2 at the Gabba, and he did. Well, guess what? He's fucking done to Freo. He's played them 10 times in his career. How many times do you reckon he's kicked under 2?
Oh,
How many?
0.
Yep.
He's kicked 2 or 3 every single
So-
time he's ever played Freo. 10 out of 10 times. At Optus Oval, he's 100%. He's kicked 2. Our friends at StatMate are suggesting this league should be paying $1.01. I'm getting $1.58 for Charlie Cameron to kick 2.
How?
$1.58.
When-
And
do
they,
you
they reckon it should be $1.01.
Oh.
Do you
Like it's a
reckon-
certainty.
when they do opposition analysis before the game, do you reckon they just put his magnet up as father?
Sure.
Daddy!
that'll make a reel or
Leg
something.
loop.
Yeah, for sure. This might be my favourite bet in the history of the 100Ks.
fucked.
I reckon you might come around.
How deep in the weeds?
It's not as deep as I'm used to being.
Okay.
But it's pretty deep.
See,
So
this is put on record.
I honestly think this might be the best bet in the history of the 100K.
Let's go.
Your best or the best?
The best.
Oh, okay.
Up there with
Kennedy for
Kennedy
5,
for 5, Zach Merritt for 2.
25 and 2.
Correct. My Norm Smith tip from last year, and some smart footy people said he was robbed.
Yeah.
Which is you.
So Bobby Hill was impressive, but Link McCarthy, Jev,
Leaving Lincoln.
the way
Link McCarthy for what? Link McCarthy to run the water?
way
Link McCarthy to do Charlie Cameron's boots? What do we got Link McCarthy
the
for?
way he came out grand final last year was impeccable. This is unbelievable. I'm getting $3.15 for 2 goals.
Oh, so we got Link McCarthy for 2.
against
All right.
Fremantle. So he's kicked 100% on his last 5. He's kicked 100% on his last 10. He's kicked 100% his last 3 at $3.20. He had the loss last week. They lost to the Blues. That's a horrible loss. A great win.
Did he kick 2 in the loss last week?
Correct. Last
Oh,
3
yes,
weeks,
yes,
he's kicked
yes,
2.
yes.
So I had a look back last year. The Lions lost to Port round 1. They got pumped, I think, about 44 points. The next week, they beat Melbourne seriously impressively by about 12 points. So I reckon they're going to do it again. If you think Melbourne's the same as Freo, you're dead wrong.
How did Link go in that game against Melbourne?
I'm not sure.
That's all
But
right. So I like this leg. I do. He's
Yeah.
a beautiful set shot. He always gets his chances.
Leaping Lincoln.
I just didn't know
There's
he
a
had Link
lot
for.
riding on the result of this.
Yes.
It has to win for it to be a good bet.
Your
of course.
best bet.
I honestly think $3.20 on a Sunday game for Lincoln McCarthy too, which I think may hit before half time.
Yeah.
Could go
I
down in
like-
history.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Bachelor's game.
Yeah.
Link McCarthy.
Anything can happen. They're going to win by
Yeah.
8. Someone's going to kick him.
Correct. So
Someone's going to kick him.
You're welcome,
Yeah,
punter.
No, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, Hayden Young, 20 touches at $1.25. This has only hit 3 of his last 5, but the
15.
2 times he missed, he had 19 touches.
There you go. So it's close.
He played the Lions twice last year. He had 29 touches in round 21 and
did.
33 touches in round 7. So we're only got him for 20 at $1.25.
awesome.
And the talk in Freo is he's done a full preseason as a midfielder and he's trained the house down. This feels like a no-brainer at 20 at $1.25. Hayden Young, 20 touches. That is the multi.
Oh,
That is the
awesome.
multi. So let's get into it. So I'll read this out very quickly. So we've got $10.62 on this to win $100,006.44. I believe this is the closest we've ever.
You're sweating. It's that good of a bet.
I'm dripping under this. $100,006.44. Here we go. Sicily 20, Nick Watson for a snag, Toby Green 2, Kelly 25, Whitfield 25, McKercher 20, Tom Green 25, and Binger
go.
Daniels for 2.
Let's go.
Tom Stewart for 20, Tom Hawkins for 2, Rowan Marshall for 20. Ben Keys gets a lot of it, doesn't do a lot with it. Hopefully he gets a lot of it. 15 disposals. Taylor Walker for 2. Connor Budrick, Morgs is just selected a name out of the dictionary for 15 touches. Ben King for 2. Alex Nilbullen for 15. Tim English for a snag. Clary for 25. Butters for 25. Rosie for 25. Leaping Lincoln, the best leg in the 100K history for 2. Charlie Cameron for 2. Daddy, and also Hayden Young for 20.
Let's go.
That is the multi for this week.
Now, I know you've got the road to 20K coming, but I am introducing in the theme of the week a new segment.
This
So-
is our 10th segment for the new show.
What I want to do, and I want the person that sits in this seat, it's not always going to be me, but I want to start a journal multi.
Yep.
So what I've done is I've listened to all your cases, all your legs, and I'm putting the 3 best legs together live
go.
on the show. So when you talk me into it, Das, I've got Ben Keys for 15. I thought that was your best leg.
Cool.
Best leg of the multi. Jevy, Tommy Hawkins for 2. That
Let's
is
go.
just the best leg I've heard in years probably. And then Tim English. I think the value's there. We need a little bit there. That's
Yeah.
my best. You can get $4.41 for that 3-legger. I reckon
is-
most people were probably wondering too, because it's a clear top 3.
The in-moment
The
documentation
journal multi, it's you. I'm the jury, and you've sold me on that multi, $4.41.
Well done.
Journal
Hey, that's
multi.
good.
No, well done.
Jev, we have a new segment as well.
Are you kidding?
By the way, we'll be getting to the other stuff. Jev, I know you got to go soon, and this is some big stuff here, but we're here to win some cash as well, aren't we, Jev?
We're here to win some
Correct.
cash.
Not just have some fun. We're serious.
So we trialled this in NFL season, and
There
it's
we go.
not easy,
No, it's hard.
but AFL's our game, and we're going to get it. It's called the Road to 20K.
Here we go,
Thank
Jeff.
God.
Road to 20K. It's 12 levels.
Okay.
So let's just start. So I'll just give you the first 5 levels, and Morgs will put the image up right now. So level 1, 25 at $2 to 50.
So we're trying to win $50 this week.
Turn it to $50. We're starting with $25. Then it's 50 at $1.92 to get to 96. Then we're going to turn that 96 into 202. We're going to turn that 202 into 364. That 364 into 692. Bang, cash out 250.
Yeah, got it.
250 in our
Gotta
pocket.
cash out.
There's more legs. There's more levels.
They'll
and
see it on
eventually,
screen.
you'll see it on
Yep.
screen. Eventually, you get to $20,000.
Love it.
So me
A
and
lot of
Das
people messaging
have
us.
come together. Our first $25. Get with a couple of mates. Do it with mates. $25. We have. Let me find
The
it.
best bet in sports. Our 2 legs of our life.
James Sicily for 20 touches.
Great.
Charlie Cameron for 2 goals.
That's perfect.
You get $2 for that.
Well done.
$25 on that.
Yep.
Get you 50. That is level 1 of the road to 20K, of the 12 level road to 20K.
You get scared as you go along. I wish this was our final level because I'd be so confident.
I'm so
confident in this.
I'm super confident we are going to get to 20K. Let's just get to level 5 and cash out that 250 to start. But come on, let's
Love
get to
that.
the road to
This
20K.
is so good.
Edit in. I've got to go, boys, because I am
Exciting.
featured on the True Bloods
Awesome.
independently owned Swans podcast. I'm on it. The biggest Nuffy pod. They asked the Swans Nuffy to come speak at the Swans. You reckon I'm going to struggle with that?
No.
You reckon I'm nervous at all? No. I'm going to put my Swan shirt on. I'll take the Swan scarf off. But I did make the call. One of the 4 prelim spots is taken
Oh my
already
God.
by the Sydney Swans. So we're going to track this as the year goes on. Watch this play doesn't fall. But prelim spots, Swans after round 0. They are playing in the prem. So this can go on the board.
Hello, handshake.
I'll tell you what, the Blues wouldn't be too far off that as well.
Oh yeah.
Below. You can't see that.
awesome.
Just there.
Beautiful.
Prelim spots taken Swans, Tom Green, Brownlow, and Handshake. That is a pretty good looking board. Can't wait to actually get that looking better.
Yeah. What a show. It's 25 legs, 26 segments.
Yeah, fuck, it's a lot, but hey, that's what we're here for.
We should announce too, Thursday night, Carlton Richmond, we will be there in the Blues Brothers section. So you just got to find it.
I gotta go. I gotta go to the pod. Up the True Bloods. Catch me on the True Bloods podcast.
Line of the week.
Best line. Haven't picked it up yet.
Carlton, how much they win by?
Carlton. We win by 38 points.
So the line 19.5 is just...
Yeah, over.
Swans beat the reigning premiers on the MCG by about 7 points.
Chile, baby, back ribs.
Ribs.
Riva.